And it shall be in that day that living waters shall go out from Jerusalem, half of them toward the former sea, and half of them toward the hinder sea. In summer and in winter shall it be.
It was the ancient Romans who named this place the Dead Sea, a majestic body of deep blue water framed by remote desert cliffs, so salty that no fish or plants live in its mineral-rich waters. Some 1,300 feet below sea level, it is the lowest surface on Earth. Even the mud is precious. Bobbing on the water, breathing in the low-altitude, oxygen-rich air, one quickly relaxes. But the Dead Sea is dying, disappearing at a rate of 1 yard every year. Across the landscape, a series of ruins from not-so-ancient history illustrates just how dramatic that retreat has been.
Particularly in the mid-1950s, where people would be drinking coffee, literally facing the Dead Sea in front of them. You'd walk down these stairs, and at the bottom of the stairs, the Dead Sea was right there.
Wait, so the water came right up to these stairs?
Right up to the stairs.
Traditionally, the Dead Sea has been sustained by the waters of the River Jordan, where the Bible says the Israelites crossed into the Promised Land and where Jesus Christ was baptized. But in recent years, those waters have been diverted to Syria, Jordan, and Israel for irrigation.
And next to nothing today flows down that river. And in the very south, industry in Israel and in Jordan have turned the Dead Sea into an industrial quagmire, extracting the unique minerals of the Dead Sea, but in the process, drying up that Dead Sea.
Then said he unto me, These waters issue out toward the east country, and go down into the desert, and go into the sea, which being brought forth into the sea, the water shall be healed.
Just 30 minutes drive east of Jerusalem, and you arrive at the lowest point on the globe, the Dead Sea. In recent years, the sea's been shrinking, and thousands of sinkholes have opened up, some containing sweet, fresh water. From the road, you can even see these ponds, which have formed only recently, and small fish now live in these pools. This is a big deal, and no one's really talking about it. To me, these are signs of the times, when the Dead Sea finally comes to life. We read of a vision for the third temple in Jerusalem in which water starts flowing eastward towards the Dead Sea, and I quote,
And it shall come to pass that everything that liveth, which moveth, whithersoever the river shall come, shall live. And there shall be a very great multitude of fish, because these waters shall come thither, for they shall be healed, and everything shall live whither the river cometh.
But in the meantime, and this time sure is mean, the opposite's been happening. The only water flowing into the Dead Sea comes from the Jordan River, basically just sewage, agricultural runoff, and fish pond residues. And to add upon that, all the sewage from East Jerusalem too. That's right, 8 million gallons of raw sewage daily running into that beautiful wonderland. Now if I may get a bit more graphic, I'm going to liken the map of the world, aka Mother Nature, to the female body. If you put all the continents of the world together, Israel is in the middle, the center, the belly, the place where a baby would grow. The Straits of Gibraltar, where two continents are only 9 miles apart, is like a tiny opening like the way inside a woman, and at the end of the Mediterranean Sea is where the egg would be waiting to be fertilized. We can say that a baby, like how it comes from the inside of a woman, which is essentially the deepest part of her, like the Dead Sea, the lowest point on the globe. And Jerusalem is the holiest place and just a hop, skip, and jump away, and where 3 continents meet, a very pivotal spot indeed. Jerusalem and the Dead Sea are so close on a map, it's basically in the same spot. I see these fresh water pools like the water breaking with a woman about to go into labor, as a sign of impending change. So if you believe the new world will begin with the third temple in Jerusalem, well, it's like birthing a new world, and babies are held in the belly until ready to come out. Salt is a great thing and necessary for life, but too much inhibits life. Nothing lives in these waters. but now fish begin to live right on its shores. So maybe the sinkholes are a good thing, a sign of new life being birthed in some cosmic, magnificent way. It's just a thought. I may be wrong.
But the miry places thereof, and the marishes thereof, shall not be healed.
The Dead Sea is drying up at an alarming rate. The Dead Sea is really living up to its name. With its water level dropping significantly every year, it appears the Dead Sea really is drying out to the point of disappearing. The Dead Sea is positioned between Israel, Jordan, and the West Bank, at the lowest point on Earth. Over the years, the Dead Sea has already lost more than 1/3 of its surface area. The water level is currently dropping by over 1 meter every year. Its shoreline is expected to drop from 411 meters to 430 meters below sea level by 2020. Traditionally, the Jordan River is the Dead Sea's inflow source. However, 50 years ago, much of its water was diverted to cities, reducing the inflow level to the Dead Sea to just 5% of its original volume. The hot and dry climate of the region also makes it difficult for the Dead Sea to restore itself. As a result, the salinity of the lake has increased. The Dead Sea is also threatened by cosmetic companies that extract mineral water from the region to make beauty products. Hotels and attractions built along the shoreline also release untreated sewage into the Dead Sea. Even though the Dead Sea is not home to any wildlife itself, the region around it is known for supporting several endangered species, such as ibexes, leopards, and the indigenous Dead Sea sparrow.
And it shall come to pass that the fishers shall stand upon it from En-Gedi, even unto En-Eglaim. They shall be a place to spread forth nets. Their fish shall be according to their kinds, as the fish of the great sea, exceeding many.
Massive sinkholes now pockmark the landscape, turning large parts of the coast into danger zones. The disappearing water is also a threat to the rich ecosystem that has thrived on the edge of the Dead Sea for millennia. Rare species like the Jordan River's St. Peter's fish live in freshwater pools. As the Dead Sea disappears, that sweet water is getting sucked away with it. Ashira Greenberg works at the Ein Sukim Nature Reserve.
So what we're doing is we're moving all the different fish here and all the different species here in the water to new, bigger, wider pools at the southern part of the reserve, hoping we won't have to move them again.
That will only be possible if countries in the region can put aside their differences and agree on a plan to rehabilitate the Jordan River and limit the mineral industry.
We don't think that we'll ever bring the waters of the Dead Sea to splash back here on these steps. But what we are trying to do, what we really believe is possible, is to stabilize the Dead Sea, is to stop it continuing to drop every year.
To keep the Dead Sea alive, so that generations for thousands of years to come can continue to bob in its healing waters and lose themselves in the grandeur of its scenery.
And by the river upon the bank thereof, on this side and on that side, shall grow all trees for meat, whose leaf shall not fade, neither shall the fruit thereof be consumed. It shall bring forth new fruit according to his months, because their waters they issued out of the sanctuary. And the fruit thereof shall be for meat, and the leaf thereof for medicine.